Okay, now let's talk about the DS260. After you win the Green Card Lottery, you need to complete the DS260, which is an application for immigrant visa. What can be changed on your DS260? If you completed maybe DV Lottery, you applied for the DV Lottery and then you maybe messed up with the name. Maybe you put your middle name as a last name, or you interchange the names, or the spellings of your names were wrong. Do not worry about that, because once you complete the DS260, you can correct your names and put the correct spellings on your DS260, because that's what matters. Secondly, for example, your year of birth, maybe on your DV Lottery application you completed, and maybe you say you were born in 1997 and maybe you were born in 1991. You can correct that in your DS260. Maybe your educational level, maybe you said you did not complete high school, because the application is confusing about high school diploma, no high school diploma. We don't have anything like that in Africa. So you said you don't have diploma, but literally you had the high school diploma. You can change on your DS260 and say you have high school. Other things is your current address. You can update that on your DS260, but there are some things that you cannot change. And what am I talking about? Things related to your marital status. For example, if you applied as married, make sure that you do not change that to single unless you've divorced and you have paperwork that shows that you are legally divorced. Important. A lot of people are being denied visa, especially at Nairobi embassy, because they mess up with that question. And if you said you're married in your initial application, you have to prove change of something to change that marital status. Otherwise, you have a huge burden to prove that you were married at the time of application. If you applied as single, on the other hand, and then maybe you got married after the fact that you applied for the Green Card Lottery, then you can apply and change that status to married. And then as long as you have your marriage certificate, then you should be good. I'm gonna do a video just addressing the marital status, because this is a whole topic that's important, because a lot of people get denied a visa, especially like I said in our African countries, because of this question. Another thing about marriage, like if maybe you are divorced, maybe you applied as widowed or whatever, you have to prove, even if you're not going to immigrate with that person, you have to prove that you are married to them at the time of application. So the consular might need to see a marriage certificate, regardless of whether you're going with this person to the United States or not. One thing that cannot be changed on the DS260 is if you applied for the Green Card Lottery and you said that you have children, maybe you have like one child, 2 kids, whatever number of children, you cannot change on the DS260 after winning and say you don't have children. You cannot change that. And even if maybe you lost your child, maybe your child died or something like that, then you will need to have a death certificate at the embassy, because you have to prove this child existed at the time of your DV Lottery application. So there's some things on the DS260 that you can change, and there's some that cannot be changed. And I'm going to do a video and I'm going to address just the DS260 form, because this form is very, very important. So when do you complete this DS260? Complete this DS260 if maybe you have a low case number. You need to complete it as soon as possible. If you have some things in there that needs to be addressed prior to completing this form, then you'd rather wait and do it correctly than do it sooner and then end up being denied a visa. If your case number is low, you will need to complete the DS260 as soon as possible. Do you need a passport to complete the DS260? Absolutely not. If you do not have a passport at the time of winning the DV Lottery, you can complete the DS260 without a passport, and I'll show you how to do that. After you apply for your passport and then you get the number, you can either show up with the passport at the embassy, 1, or number 2, you can request for your DS260 to be unlocked, and then you can put your passport information. What is the important thing that you need to complete the DS260? You need a host address in the United States. So a host is somebody who's going to host you in the United States. So you need an address in the United States of a real person that you're going to put in your DS260, and then at the embassy, they'll know that this person is going to the United States because you're going on an immigrant visa. You have somebody that you're going to stay with while you wait to get a job or do whatever, but you need an address, a person in the United States who will host you. Can you change this in the long run? Absolutely. So on the DS260, a lot of people I'm hosting at this time, they did not have me on the DS260. Some of them had me at the embassy and some of them didn't. So you can change your host address at the time of the DS260. You can change your host address at the embassy. And the third place, you can change your host address at the port of entry. So that should not be an issue at all. But after all, you need an address in the DS260 where you'll be hosted in the United States. In the next video, I will be talking about low and high case numbers. We'll talk about what you need to do at the interview. We'll talk about the documents that you require. We'll talk about all that during this month of April. So if you want to know stuff about the DV lottery, or if you applied for the DV lottery and you're waiting for results, this channel is going to be a very good resource for you, that after you watch all those videos, you're not going to ask anybody any questions. You'll know what to do to process your visa successfully until you get to the United States. And if you want to get ahead of time, or you want to get ahead of like learning, you can go to my videos. There's videos that I said is a playlist that say DV lottery experiences at embassies. You will watch people that I'm hosting who did interviews on how they were able to process their visas. There's Haruna, Joffrey, Rumbi, Steve, and all those people who did those interviews. They did those interviews so that you learn from them and you know what to do after you win the Greencard Lottery. I do not provide any contact for the people that I'm interviewing, because usually, like, after I interview somebody, there's a privacy thing that's involved. So I'm not going to give them their contact. One, because they're not immigration lawyers. They're not even legally able to advise you on anything. If you have any questions, please contact an immigration lawyer who's going to be able to advise you on immigration related issues, not somebody who provided or told their story or their experience at the embassy. They just said whatever happened to them, and your experience might be a little bit different than theirs. So that's why I do not provide contact of anybody that I'm hosting. And if anybody I'm hosting is advising you on anything, take it with a grain of salt, because they do not know what they're talking about. They are not immigration lawyers. Please contact immigration lawyers to advise. Please make sure that you subscribe, share this video, like this video, and see you in my next video. And thanks for watching.